Hello. So as we're going to start our discussion towards use of AI in collection and recovery, so it's also reminds me when we are mostly talking about HI versus AI nowadays, it reminds me a movie called The Matrix from 1999. So I feel like we are going towards that era where we are going to use AI extensively. We moved from generative to agentic nowadays. So I'm going to start this discussion with Mr. Tejas. Tejas, sir, just want to know, means how are you actually making AI decision in collections, and how you track the models are going right or wrong in any situation?
Um, Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me here. Whenever the decision of getting AI into collections, the very important thing are three things which always comes in mind. First is improving the efficiency. It should be cost effective. And also it should be a customer centric. So these are the three things which comes in the mind, which is the important parameter. And whenever you decide to implement it in collections, the first thing is you have to select the AI service provider very wisely, because there are so many service providers in the market who provides multiple services. They have multiple services that what they provide, but you need to think about what you exactly need. What is the requirement of your product? What is the requirement of your collection system? What size do you have? Where do you want to implement it first? So I, as a headache collection person, I have first evaluated 3-4 major players who were suitable for our requirement. And then we have done a POC and then finalized that this is the right service provider who is suitable for our portfolio. Second thing is we have to provide with the data. So whenever you provide any data, it should not be like a lump sum data given to them and you are fully dependent on them. It has to be completely strategized. We have strategized it in a segments of high risk, medium risk, and low risk. It is of course based on previous history of the customer, the behavior, the bureau score, AWS, all things are been considered, and it has been given to them. I am mostly using it in a pre-due portfolio. Third thing is whenever we have taken a decision of going ahead with this, the data has been provided, we have to keep on monitoring them on regular basis. It's not like you are given the data and they will do their work and they will give us the output. You have to be very cautious on the data given to them, what is the output we are getting, what are the MISs, what are the analytics you are getting out of that, what are the goods and bads. And on that basis, you have to strategize on daily basis. And it is most important that that service provider should be coming up with the machine learning. Of course, it is not possible on day one, but once they have the data of 3 to 6 months, they should come up with some machine learning and changing in the strategy. I always say that the AI is not only about automation. AI is all about intelligence, where you get something out of your previous experience and change your strategy accordingly. So I think these are the important things. You're talking about whether it is your modules are going correct or wrong. If you have a strong monitoring mechanism, I think you don't have to wait for that event. If you are doing it regular basis, on daily basis, I will say, and against that, you will keep on getting the feedbacks from the customer as well as the analytics, where you will see that what is going right and what is going wrong for you from the results.
So how frequent you always try to retrain your models or ask your vendors to retrain your models?
So I will say that we retrain our models every month. Because we, as I said that I have implemented in a pre-due module. We check our campaigns. We have already given other high risk, low risk, medium risk campaigns. And if the results are not favorable, then we try and deep dive into the analytics of it. We try and understand that where we have done good, where we have done bad, where we have done good, we try and implement it for bigger portfolio. We also see that whether the bounce rate has reduced, because that is the biggest parameter which gives us the evaluation. Means if your bounce rate are reducing, then we will also see that is this specifically reducing for the high risk, medium risk, or low risk. Okay. And if the certain things are happening well in certain segments, then we try to implement it in other segment as well.
Sure. So moving towards Rao sir. So Rao sir, I just want to understand from you. So since we have discussed about the pre-due, so how it is, I mean, how AI is going to help us in the after the bouncing? I mean, how, when we are going to do the recovery part?
See, basically, if we see the regulatory guidelines, what is pre-due need to be addressed first. So, the SME cases means 30 days or 60 days, 90 days cases. So, this is even prior to 30 days also, if any short while overdues are there. So, these are the things we can say some sort of formats required to be designed and reminders to be sent to the customers immediately. Some amount is due, you pay it like call or voice note or WhatsApp or SMS or email or other means by using this technology platform. At the same time, it should be in compliant with the regulatory and legal requirements. What is regulatory legal requirements in place as on date? Suppose Information Technology Act 2000 and the BNS for any violations it goes to BNS as well as the Copyright Act. So recently came DP Act. So these are all the relevant laws vis-a-vis the recovery mechanism. Recovery mechanism means Payment and Settlement System Act, NI Act, as well as all the other recovery laws like RDB Act and the SARFACI Act. So these are all the other parallel laws. And when it comes to the companies, may not be pre-due, it will go like that, but it will go in detailed process which is applicable to the company under the Companies Act. So these are the things. And in addition, the banking companies' preservation of record rules, as well as the other data protection, data preservation laws prevalent in India is required to be complied. Looking into the overall gamut, the pre-default cases need to be handled. Even looking into even if it goes to further, how to deal with the pre-default. So in future, if they want to pursue for dishonor of check or otherwise go to the civil court or the other mechanisms available, like even commercial disputes go to the, there is one law, prevalent commercial disputes mechanism is there. So arbitration, cancellation, there are many other prevalent things are there that need to be looked into, and accordingly to be moved on.
Right. So going to the next one, this is for the Datta sir. So, sir, I just want to understand from you, since we are mostly moving towards AI-driven collection, it's kind of becoming a black box as well, right? On a regulatory point of view. So how we are going to address it?
Thank you for it's a nice question. Thank you for having me here. Now, when we look at AI, the AI is going at, I think, 100 folds, and collection is still behind. That is what I see. We have developed so much in AI, but still we are stuck around with our old primitive methods of doing collections. So what we do is basically we try to quantify things when we do collections. Quantify in terms of whatever is the data available, the CIBIL score, the payment trends. Then to the next level, what we see is how they have been doing calling for so many years, and those analysis what we do. We don't go by the sentiments of the customer. or how the customer is behaving in terms of their payment history or everything. So we are, what I want to say is, we have to move ahead to develop ourselves and go ahead with AI, because AI is developing at a 8 times fastest rate. If you see the number of reasonings or the reason tokens generated right now in industry is grown by 320 times. So you understand the way the bot is training itself. 320 times is huge. We used to initially have only 4 or 5 reasons and questions which were initiated to the customers. Like, sir, are you going to pay? Or when will you pay? And now the tokens have increased to 320 times. So all these AI guys who are here right now, they're developing at a very faster rates. And I think that's how we have to move in pace to get to that level.
So, sir, moving to Surath, sir. So, just want to understand your view on this particular topic.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. So, first of all, we'll have to understand about the customer side. Whom do we understand as a customer? A customer, do we understand him as a product? Do we understand him as someone who gives me a data? But going with the current regulatories and current laws which are going on, I think it is very important to understand not only on the customer data side and all these things, but also on what is going on in customers and why the customers are in default. And that is becoming more prevalent because more and more we are interacting with the customer, whether it is through AI model or through telecalling or any other model. What regulator is saying is, seeing is how we are addressing to the customer in order to get the dues. It is not about only money. It is about getting money in a very fair mean and ensuring that on one side, where the banks are not losing out, on the other side, the customers are also not losing out on their prejudice also. So these are very important. So all what it takes is, what are the inputs that we are giving, the data that we are giving. It is one side we see that the customers, if there's something which has happened, the empathy that we are looking at the customer side, what time we are calling, whether we are actually going ahead and addressing the customer, the intensity of the calls. So all these things needs to be monitored. It cannot be left out alone. And this monitoring and this scrubbing has to be done on a daily basis, on a regular basis, not on a daily basis, but a regular basis. So that, because on one side when we're telecalling and everything has happened, we have call quality monitoring and everything. In AI also we need to have these things, basis which we can say that yes, this is not a black box, because that is something that regulator is eyeing and is going to eye upon later also, that what are the gaps in case there are any which is being addressed. So that is very important. And then we can understand, yes, productivity, performance and everything comes in. But the first is customer first.
Yeah. So my, being a technology person, okay, my biggest fear is data. Because it's very well known in the industry as well, garbage in, garbage out, right? So whenever I try to implement or connect with any of the market expertise or vendors, right, to get something implemented, my biggest fear is my data clean? Or if somebody is there, or even AI, who can help me to clean the data, right? So I believe the first thing first, what the focus should be is the clean data. Because until unless data is not cleaned, anything which we are going to implement, regardless in the collection, recovery, or even in the lead generation, I think the output, the desired output will not be able to get it. So that is what my point is.
Yeah, correct. So it goes to the old school when we obviously said one thing, that inputs that matters. Output obviously will follow up. So it's very important, whether it is AI, whether it is a field team or it is telecalling, it is very important what data I am giving. If I am giving too much of data, that itself again goes against the collection module or the performances, because those may be irrelevant to the fact when we are talking at that point of time. Yeah. So that is very important.
Just adding to your point, sir. See, when we say it as a black box, what I feel is it's not a black box right now. It has become a glass box.
Okay.
Because initially, when we do telecalling field or everything, whatever data was available, what is in bits and pieces, somewhere here and there in isolation, But when we use bots, when we use technology, all the data is transparent. We have all the trails of the data. So we have the entire system which is transparent. And I think that is with respect to what the governance wants. See, governance is not anti-AI, I feel. Governance is anti-unaccountable AIs. So they want accountability. And I think we are creating a platform. We are creating a story which is accountable. So this black box, I think, would be a glass box, I feel.
Of course, I completely agree with you because there are few technologies which are inevitable. I mean, like when we are talking about AI, or we are talking about blockchain, or we are talking about next generation, whatever. Even a lot of people talk about the cryptos, and right. So these are the inevitable technologies which we have to accept that these are going to be in the industry, and we have to use this technology soon, right? So moving towards next one, that is to Navratan sir. Sir, I just want to understand, I mean, what are the biggest technical challenge when we are using the bots, and specifically in the collection?
Yeah, very good afternoon. Thanks for having me here. I represent digital initiative at RNRT. So when I specifically talk about basically the voice bot, so basically I can say technology is more toward the enabler for the business, and it is not the replacement for human empathy. The biggest challenge what you mentioned, you asked about the basic. So first, biggest challenge is in terms of when you're doing for the collection part. So bot is helping us in terms of what, for the number of calls we are basically doing to a customer, and it's act as a reminder to a customer, or you can say early reminder to a customer to make the payments. So at a scale level, it is helping us in terms of that particular part. It is helping us in terms of doing a prioritization of a customer. Like suppose a customer is able to identify which customer is able to pay on a particular time, or where basically customer is basically dealing a payment, or what particular time I can basically call to a customer. So that kind of it's basically increasing the operational efficiency and reducing the task of the operational manager. So that way it is helping us in terms of the scale particular part. But when I talk about the customer, which are more like customer is not able to pay in terms of there can be some business loaners at it, and maybe he may be facing some kind of emotional stress, he may be facing some medical emergency. So when a bot is calling to him, he is not able to identify the tone of a customer, the intent of a customer, exactly, the urgency at the customer. No. So that's a basically challenge when bot is calling to a customer. Right. If I talk about second challenge, about my organization specifically, which operate like close to 100 plus branches or 1,000 plus business partners, which are basically interacting with the customer, when we are having a presence of in more than 900 plus cities across India, diversified locations, and multilingual is a challenge, because most of the when we onboard the vendor partner in terms of AI voice bot solution, they claim to have multilingual transcription, understanding of the, but when you actually go and deploy that POC into production, that's the biggest challenge, because they then come, sir, we have only tested, we have the data points, and we are able to test it for 3 to 4 major languages. You share us the data points, and then probably we'll work on the data points, and then probably we'll try to build up the model, or basically we'll do a fine tuning on your data as well. So that's a second challenge when we basically onboard any partner, and we are not able to move that POC into the production environment. So that kind of challenge you face because you are not able to have. So now to handle that, in first case, you may probably have to end up going back from voice automation toward the human probably agent who is able to understand the emotional side, or able to understand that customer is paying regularly, but it is a few instant because of his business loaners or medical, he is not able to pay. So that kind of requirement is there, and you need to pass to the human. And right, even to multi-language, you need to pass it on. If I talk about other minor challenges, since we operate into tier 2 or tier 3 cities, your system are not integrated in real-time basis. If a person who is a collection agent, probably in tier 2 side, it's a very junior level person who is going for a collection into interior of the cities. He's getting the collection, but he's not able to update the data in the system. Absolutely. Right? So yes, you don't have that kind of updated information, whether customer is paid, whether he has pocketed that money for a day or two, and he's not able to update, because the moment he will go for a small town city in the practical town, he will maybe update the data when you come back EOD at the office, or maybe you update after 2 days, that kind of thing.
Completely agree.
So the real-time integration is not there. You don't have the now DPDP coming into picture, so you don't have that consent management of a. We are working on that particular part. Many of the organizations are working on that particular requirement. You don't have audit trail basically for that particular systems. So these are few challenges when you talk about deploying AI voice bot solution.
Yeah, I mean, being in this industry, what I learned is that the disbursement is easy. I mean, giving money to anybody is easy, but when you need to collect, it's the toughest task. So where I believe whatever you suggested, like it has to be hybrid, not the completely
Not
AI.
complete,
So yeah, definitely. I mean, moving to the Rao sir, your views on it.
See, basically the collection part, the game changer would be the each department. Suppose a organization have different product like personal loan or car loan or the MSME loan or wholesale banking or micro loan. So each division has to put a implementation committee in their respective division. And the AI implementation committee consists at a central level should devise the models and the regulations in place, guidelines in place. So whether it is in line with the regulatory statutory requirement or not. So it is not going to reduce the manpower. It is going to increase the fast in which the things happens in corporate. So this AI is a new evolved area everywhere happening, but people first. There are 7 trusted principles followed by every organization. So first is people first. So if people are there, then everything. Not that I came, people gone. So people always will be there. If you take the age-old banking, because I have 35 years I spent in and around many banks, public sector, private sector. The evaluation of the technology, those days even for students or the working class, they don't have the technology access. That was subsequently brought in. Once the technology brought in, they trained the people. Again, change came. Earlier, we were having a box computers. Later on, laptops came. Later on, mobile access came. Google came. So access through mobile came, emails. So these are all technology evolution. Like that, now AI came. This is like in addition to all these things, this is one more feature came in life, our life. So people should not be scared. AI आया, our job गया. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. So this is first people first. Without people, no one can do anything. Only thing, small committees will come. According to me, law will come, regulations will come. Of course, there are few guidelines came. There are existing laws deals with certain laws like Copyright Act. It takes care of the content or otherwise copyright. But now, this a person creating the AI, whether it can be treated as a copyright or not, that is no clarity. The law need to be amended. So accordingly, the frameworks was brought in by certain governmental organizations, but it need to be evolved a law. So once law comes, this is an additional feature. Like we don't have before 2000, we don't have IT related laws. IT Act, subsequently now DPDP Act. Similar way, AI related laws will come that collection may. So if I take the age-old pattern, so recovery through 2 mechanisms. One is non-legal recourse, second is legal recourse. So non-legal recourse mechanism is going to the borrower personally, or sending notices, physical notices or electronic notices, or having the one-time settlements. Like that, those days SECA Act was there. The companies, SECA Act ke baad recovery mein there was no law at all. So we used to go to civil court and file a suit and get a mortgage decree and execute the mortgage decree. It takes 15 to 20 years to get the recovery. But those traditional mechanisms or the age-old laws was revamped. Now lot of teeth was given to the bankers, either in regulatory angle or in statutory angle. There are lot of changes came. You take Surface Act, you take IBC law. So lot of revamping is done. It is useful for the recovery. This AI is one more teeth given to the lenders to do faster.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, what my take is like, only the thing is going to change is the role. I mean, rather than creator, we have to be validator now. So, going to the next question, that is for Mr. Tejas, sir. That how should AI-based recovery and risk models be validated, audited, or monitored for fairness and accuracy as well?
No, absolutely. Well, the validation is the important part of AI in collections. There are multiple ways through you can validate. First is the data validation. It is important that how the data is used by the service provider. As you rightly said, that it is on the top of mind of regulators whenever the data security comes in a picture. So they are using it correctly, whether they are learning from that something. Like to give you an example, if the customer is called in the last month and the customer has automatically started speaking in Bengali, so we have multilingual support by them, and whenever he has been called next time, they should be remembering that yes, last time he prefers the language of Bengali, so I think he need to be automatically get spoken in that language whenever the bot is there. Then I think the campaign validation is very, very important. That, as I said, we are segregating the portfolio into high, medium, and low risk portfolio. In this, the low risk segment are those customers who are regularly paying their EMIs. Probably they are missing it by a day or two, but they are making it within short span of time. So they are not the bad customers. They are just having some issue or the delayed payment coming in. So those are not the bad customers. So they need to be treated with some respect. They should not be called for 10 times in a day. Medium risk are little higher intensity, and high risk should be having a different kind of campaign. So these campaigns need to be specified, need to be validated on regular basis. Are we actually doing what we are supposed to do, or we are doing just randomly to the randomly applying the same strategy to everyone? Then there are validation of customer fairness. So customer need to be treated fairly. As I said, that if the customer is not a high risk customer, he should not be called for multiple times. He knows that whenever the call is coming from the bank, it is for a reminder towards the EMI, or it is towards the repayment of the EMI which I missed. So the customer, people in collections, most of them will not agree that the customer need to be treated fairly, but that is what is required. Sometimes it happens like customer is not making the payment if you try and push him hard. Sometimes it happens like you connect with him on a regular basis, try to understand his problem, sympathize, empathize, and collect. So that will give you more better results. There is also a validation on output. As I said, the campaigns and everything, we are getting it checked on regular basis. The analysis need to be having, we should be having it, and after that we will decide at the end of the month that yes, this has worked well for us, this need to be continued, this has not worked well for us, so we have to change it, or we have to rethink about changing it. And the last validation is how it has impacted your business. Means everything what we are doing it for the improvement in results. If the results are not in favor, then you have to go back and try and deep dive and understand where have you gone wrong. Is there anything what need to be restarted? Please do that. Otherwise, you will not get the desired results. As far as audit is concerned, it is very, very important that we keep the trails of each and every activity what we are doing. Whenever we are trying to nudge the customer, we have to keep it. We have to follow all RBI guidelines that you should not be called before 8 o'clock in the morning and after 7 o'clock in the evening, should not be called multiple times to harass the customer. All these things need to be kept in mind. COC should be absolutely followed. And then you can say that you are compliant with that.
So going to the next one, which is for Navratan sir, that is, where does AI deliver the highest ROI today? I mean, I was supposed to ask, I mean, when you were talking about Tejas sir, that is, we have to see where it is going, because at the end of the day, everything boiled down to the OPEX, right? My operational cost and whatever I'm collecting. So it is similar to that. I mean, how you can validate your ROI.
Yeah, so very valid question. So whenever you are evaluating any vendor partner probably, so you basically identify the use case probably where you are trying to work on. And depend upon the use cases you are trying to work on, you try to identify what kind of TCO you have, total cost of ownership. Match that total cost of ownership with the ROI outcome. The ROI can be in terms of either you are enriching your customer experience or you're trying to basically work on the operational efficiency of your operation team. So that's a major comparison at a broader level which you try to do. Then you try basically see like what kind of small use cases you are working, and you are able to move that use cases into the production part. Because if you are working, like for example, if you are working on major ROI in the collection part only, so whether you are able to deploy some kind of voice agent where you are able to do a predictive prediction of a customer, like how Tejas has mentioned about the timing of a customer. So if you are able to identify what is the right time to call a customer, and because of that you are able, the person is able to do a category of the customer classification and able to call that category of collection at the right time. So it basically reducing your operational task and increasing the operational efficiency where you are calling the customer at the right time and trying to basically have a reminder to him for a collection payment. So you compare that particular part, what is the cost involved for that deploying that agent, and how and what kind of collection you are able to do, whether you have that collection in pre-time. So that can be one thing. Second, you can probably plan out in terms of what kind of an actionable in terms of repayment plan. Some customer is not able to pay, and you are able to have a certain set of call where basically you can have a restructuring of the payment schedule with them. So you can have that kind of multiple use cases defined, and based on that you can decide what is the best ROI for you.
So, sir, I mean, it again goes to the volume as well. Like for example, when I see a lot of NBFCs are there, I mean, and out of 10,000 NBFCs, you can figure out only 10 to 15 are the largest one in the market. The rest of them are the small ones, right? Like maybe less than 5,000 crore. So everything comes to the volume. If volume is high, implementing AI, maybe it is going to help. But what is your suggestion for those small organizations, how they are going to adopt AI with finding the ROI? I mean, because at the same time, they also need to figure it out when they are going to get the break even, because initial investment will be there. So break even is also another point. And if break even is coming into the next 2-3 years, after 3 years, maybe another technology, I mean, maybe AI will be enhanced till then. So what is your suggestion? I mean,
see, it's not that you need to use AI only specifically. It's something which basically work in terms of the automation piece as well. So if the, see, normally what we have, basically we have recently replaced RPA with the AI first time. For whenever we take a use case, we normally predict like, why not we use the AI? But there is not, for a smaller organization, it's not that it's required only to deploy AI. If you are something where basically anything which you are working on the operational process, which are manual in nature, and we can replace that with the RPA also, and it can solve your problem probably. You can use RPA rather than using it directly AI and try to justify the ROI part. So that is what I suggestion is that for smaller organization, you can basically go and deploy RPA. Why not basically require the full-fledged kind of AI where you are not able to manage the high cost?
understood.
Just adding to that. Now, if you just go back 3-4 years back when AI was not in the picture, people are not aware about ChatGPT or something like that. The cost of building a bot or building a generative AI was huge. And now if you see, the cost has reduced to more or less 97%. So building a bot is like on the fingertips of a guy who has learned AI.
Yeah.
So I don't think cost is a constraint over here. even with the smaller vendors, can adopt an AI. There are so many players in the market who are providing it at a very lower rate. What they have to do is they have to understand the portfolio and bifurcate that into which are my low-hanging fruits, which can be churned to this AI, and where I can generate this ROI more. So that's what I feel.
I think, again, I mean, being a technology person, I completely agree with you. I mean, when it comes to the development part or anything which you want to create, it is actually easy nowadays. And on the costing part as well, it is reduced. When it comes to the rest of the part, we need to figure it out. It's still the small organization or the medium-sized organization, still they need to figure it out where actually they have to use AI. So going to the next one, I mean, that is for Datta sir and Surath sir. That is what operational and data constraint prevents predictive collection.
So as we see that more and more this loans are getting booked, we not only have the customer data as per the financials and this thing, but as and when there has been earlier calls or earlier connects which has happened from to the customer side, we also have behavioral patterns. So whatever data we are collecting, right, these datas cumulatively when feeded in, how it is producing. Now how we are also analyzing this data in order to approach the customer for a betterment. Now today's data, going back on the earlier question and connecting it with this, is it is not about cost, it is about how you're using that data to get enhancement of your portfolio. So on a small example, there is one side where a caller is calling me and I kind of I say that, okay, I don't want this product. On the other side, an AI called me and I told the same answer. The AI in the next call, calling from the same organization, gives me an alternative. So that is what is important. It is not about only feeding in, it is about understanding that data and getting an alternative out of that. And that is more important in today's cycle. It is not about a general AI call which is going to happen. It is about understanding basis not only the data feeded in, but also on the basis of conversation that has happened on the earlier conversation. Absolutely. So that's how we want to manage this data, cusp it out, and then get a performance out of it.
Just adding to that. So what I see three constants over here. One is our traditional method. What we are trying to do is with the limited data resource, we are trying to find out the ability of the customer to pay by the data sets, as in what was his last discussion, his CIBIL score, or whatever I said last time. So we are basically trying to find out whether the customer is able to pay or not. But what I feel is right now, since we have AI, we have Gen AI, where we have the historical data and where the AI is also able to memorize and keep these memories. Now if you see all the the people they are addicted to Instagrams. Why are we getting addicted? Because these guys are storing our memories. They understand our sentiment, they understand what I like the most, and they will throw away those things to me. Absolutely. And that's what we have to use it in banking right now. Our AI should be evolved in that way that we memorize, we keep this memory for a longer period of time. So whenever we are reaching out to a customer, the basic constant where we have to understand not only the ability to pay, but the intent, whether the customer is really intending to pay. And that can be happening only when we have these memories, when we have these past memories, his intents, what was his feeling. And now AI are able to understand our behaviors, our feelings too, whether while calling the customer sense, whether he's in a distress mode, whether he's not intending to pay, and we can memorize that. And accordingly, bot can plan the way to pitch, the way to understand, and that's how we are going to make the customer feel comfortable in future, and the trust will be built up. Absolutely. That's what I feel.
Further to it, apart from the Gen AI, further to it, we also have to understand that if we are moving from the Gen AI part to an agentic AI, yes, where we are kind of apprehending what may come. So on a current economic scenario, if I have a list of customers who are getting affected with the current war which is happening, with the current, fuels not getting, and all these things, those, how do we address? So we cannot address all customers same. So those are the customers where we know that there is a problem, and we have to possibly connect them earlier, and their focus has to be different. So all these things. So apart from that AI, what they have been doing with the data, what is already available, we have to also understand on the environmental part, on what is happening on the outside world, and then cusp it with it to get a better scenario. So for example, Sybil is one side we are seeing. We should also see that what is the industry happening. So there is a Sybil of a person who is working in an auto industry, but the auto industry is in a problem. So it is not about that person. We may come across many such persons who today is paying, but maybe in a problem later on. That is how what needs to be understood and what needs to be given out.
Yeah, sir,
So
so
Sorry, sir. Just adding to what Surath sir said. See, when we are using, he's rightly said, right, the sentiments with the war and everything, the people's sentiments are changing. We are using bots. The bots are pitching themselves. They're doing collection, but there has to be something monitoring system. We don't know who's going to monitor the bots, right? Now the Gen AI bots, they are doing ML. They are learning themselves. But here we introduce the evals. The eval system monitor these bots. They see, they understand whether these bots are getting hallucinated, whether they are actually on track or not. So as a banker, we need to understand these evals. We need to keep these evals in place where they will keep these bots in place so that we are governing these bots properly for future.
So, do you think, in future, like, we are also going to get the social footprint of the customers to understand them better?
100%, of course.
Okay, fine. So, moving to the next one. This is for Rao sir. So, how can BFSI build borrower trust? When we are talking about the early stage collection through AI and the automation. So how we can have the customer trust? How we can win their trust? Because when they will get a call, definitely they will get to know, in the initial stage, that they are getting a call from the bot.
See, if we see the journey of the customer with the organization from beginning to till the default, say you start with application, subsequently sanction terms and conditions or the loan agreement. These are all the things inter alia contractually built a relationship between the bank and the customer. So the banks in the event of default, they will call or they will take recourse, either legal or non-legal remedies through technology platform or otherwise. They consented to it and they are aware of it. Even their account cycle, repayment cycle also, they know they have not paid, means definitely the banker will ask. They will not keep quiet. Either they may call or they may send the voice note or they may send agent in person or they request the customer over phone and come to the branch, we will talk. Because the behavior is known. So it means if he has not paid, then definitely comes. Some cases there is a fraud. Suppose assuming after the technology evolved, I seen a roadside shop kirana person, if a person walking on the road, he have the cash. But somebody is transferring the money, he will tell the shopkeeper, he will transfer the money to you, you give the cash to me. Similar way, the repayment of the loan, someone account say routed and paid in the borrower account, he paid cash to someone else. There are adjustments to it. So in this process, there is a fraudulent activities also happens. So there the question of trust comes in, a deficit of trust comes in. So assuming fraudulently someone is repaying, or the loan is taken by someone by using the identity theft or the KYC documents or otherwise, then the genuine customer, when the default comes, he came to know somebody availed a loan in his name. Now the banker is asking the money. So those are the different scenarios where the chance of deficit of trust or trust issue between the bank and customer will come to play. Those areas need to be plugged in. A lot of frauds happening. Even we have all these contracts. Someone will say he will hack the instrument, he will take the money from his account. So either if it is a body account, generally term loan there is no chance of money lying there. But if it is a cash creditor or working capital, routine operations purpose, if the account is running, somebody looted the money and the banker is going and asking, then the question of building the trust depends on the circumstances. However, I am putting a disclaimer, either my previous views or present views not relates to bank or its customers, because it is purely my personal and professional, not representing the organization or organizational activities or otherwise. So, because we seen so fake document comes in, or someone proper documents kept at someone home, and they used it and kept as a mortgage. So based on scenario where collection comes, where deficit comes, no, if there is a fraudulently availed a loan, then the trust deficit comes there. The banker's responsibility to give the factual issues and build the trust on the customer.
Looking at the separate angle of this trust, see, the thing is it is very important how interactive the AI bot, whether it is a voice bot or a chat bot, how interactive it is, how comfortable it is making the customer feel. So what happens is sometimes we find that when we are doing a chat bot through WhatsApp or through your voice bot, there is a conversation which the AI should understand that it is going in nowhere. It is not going to end. So on these matters, whether that AI is transferring it to a human person or a supervisor. So those comfortability, where the AI is apprehending that this conversation will not prove productive and moving it out, or it may go on a very different angle, which may get entangled with regulatory thing, and moving it out, or making the customer feel when the customer is expressing some bad news or something which has happened, and taking that as a cue and then representing it in a different way. So those expressions, those interactive sessions that the AI is bringing out, those trust issues has to be very important, because then only the customer, while getting a call from there, they becomes more and more free enough to talk to the AI, understanding that because what happens is generally if it is a hard bucket customer, and if a caller is calling, the whole focus of the caller is money. बोला ये तो हम सब समझ लिए हैं, आप पैसा कब दोगे वो बताओ. But it is the same way that the AI does, but whether the AI is making that person comfortable, that is more is important, and there the trust issues increase. That's what I feel.
So another, so since technology is evolving, right, there will be the smart people as well in the market, right? I sometimes think what will happen if AI is going to talk to an AI. A guy got a call and he put his call on the AI part, right? Now AI talking to AI, how AI is going to address it? For all of you.
See, I'll answer this. Suppose example, a voice call or voice note or a video clip or a video call. I seen Nirmala Sitharaman announced some scheme. If you invest 25,000 within a days, this money will multiply like this. Mukesh Ambani. So like that, these are all the face or the character was captured and made a video and deepfaking. So similar way we need to handle this.
I understand that.
Suppose assuming हम लोग क्लिक करते, सब आई क्लिक्ड रियली इतना पैसा आ रहा है, हम फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर बोल रहे हैं क्यों हम लोग इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर सकते. Then I got a call from London. Then I doubted, what is this? Nirmala Sitharaman is the finance minister of India. And so if I click why the call is coming from London, then I realized this is a fake. I asked, you send your KYC documents and your office address where is your office, then I can look in investment. So the game theory is that what I want to say, one AI is talking to other AI, there are filters to it. I seen many frauds. Suppose these investment frauds. Investment frauds may call comes, voice call comes in. So are you in market? Yes. So we will, if you invest in this, within a day or 2 days, you will get 40% or 20% profit. Are you interested? So we will use counter AI or otherwise, but we have to go to the mathematics. What are the physical mathematics? So what is this? Who is this? Where is their office? Whether these people are known or not. If you put those filters, automatically those things will weed out. Just like we are, say example, I will tell one more example. Suppose a thief came to your house, the AI is like a thief. So there are two thieves entered in the house. One AI is talking to other AI. Other AI. So two are the thieves really. So how we have to put a filter? Suppose the fingerprints are captured on a particular instrument. Dust is like a other thief. One is a fingerprint capturing, other one is the dust. So dust will test the fingerprints of the other. So while analyzing, investigating, all these things to be looked into it. And of course, individuals we may not have capability to counter through AI. Some banks announces their all the things through voice things only. Other organizations also announce the same things through voice only. So then they can talk each other with the voices. But individually, I don't feel whether that system is there as on date. If somebody comes through AI voice notes or AI voices, whether we can revert through AI voices individually, whether we are capable to do that or not, may come in future. But I see in some films, suppose if we are watching a film, I want to see particular character, my personality in the film. So my personality will appear there. So these are all possibilities came, but not and counter attacking one AI through other AI, organizational level, I don't know, even personal level also, whether that is evolved or not. As on date,
Not yet. I mean, I'm just I
not
was
evolved
asking.
according
Yeah.
to me.
So this is very futuristic question.
Yeah,
And
very
I would say that creating this counter bot or on AI would be a costly affair. And I would request customer to make the payment of EMI instead of making this.
Okay. Okay, fine. So moving to the next one, I mean, like this is something which make me recall a statement from Elon Musk. So he said once that is, if we are not going to have a framework, regulatories around the AI, it will become more than, I mean, it is going to be dangerous more than nuclear. So around that, only this question is there, that is, how you are going to suggest, I mean, to have a kind of a governance framework for collection, recovery, lead generation, credit evaluation. So how, I mean, what kind of a governance framework should be there? Because as of now, from RBI point of view, I also can't see any kind of a framework is there. So what kind of a governance framework should be there?
Very nice question, because this question is arising in everybody's mind at what is the future and how. See, right now, I think there was a session which was done by our governments of governor, RBI governor. He said that there has to be a very strong governance around AI bots. And I think that's what I said in my previous is that evals are something which are going to govern these bots. We need to understand our limits, that how we have to utilize this tool which we have got. See, it's every child's dream to have something in an hand, but how to utilize it? We can have a knife, we can use it to chop vegetables, and you can use it. So that's how. So when we say governance, when we are building a bot, we need to have our strong team who would be continuously monitoring, like what Tejas sir said, that there has to be a continuous monitoring on what the bots are doing. They are self-learning, but what are they doing when they are doing self-learning? How are they accepting? So a strong framework needs to be developed. It's a future. I don't know how we're going to move around it, but yes, we need to monitor the kind of languages which we are using when the bots is going to, the kind of statement the bots is going to use, and then we have to ensure that the bots does not cross this limit. They are utilizing this frameworks, because now the bots are connected with all the APIs. They have the Sybil track, they have your bank tracks. Everything is connected to that the bot. The bot knows the persona of the customer when he's speaking to that. So he has already crossed that level where he understands the customer very well. So now it's a governance thing. What to give that bot and what not to give need to be understood very well. Of course, RBI will come with a strong framework, definitely. They must be working around it.
So I think AI is just a replacement for some of the activities done by human. So to simple answer is all the COC, the code of conducts applicable for all the collection people, the department, it should be applicable to the AI. So I think this is the simplest.
I want to add here, RBI have one framework, that is Free AI Framework 2025.
Yeah.
So the Free AI framework built on 7 principles. The 7 principles, principle 1 is first people first, second innovation, third fairness, fourth accountability and understandability and fairness and the etc. So these principles were inter alia, they covered in this AI framework, and there are guidelines also, and Niti Aayog is working on these guidelines. However, there is no statute, the statute had to be evolved, so the appropriately to be captured all these things way forward, like Information Technology Act or the Data Protection Law. ALA, new law had to come.
So
Just to take that, apart from what Rausa said, see, there is it's very important also what we are giving it to the AI unit to churn upon it. It is very important that if you are giving in too much of data, which may be harmful while it's been discussing with the customers, so that becomes a very deterrent to this model. So A is what data we are giving, that is very important. Secondly is how are these data used. So earlier, while it is a very primitive way, what we were doing is ensuring that the agencies for the data that we are giving is not being used to others. Now these AI units are also using other NBFCs, other banks and all. Whether my data is being used to others, whether the DPDP Act is being taken care of, whether the financials or anything that I am giving, whether at all it should be given to that unit. Those are some things that which needs to be taken care apart from the laid down principles what is already there.
So from overall discussion, what I can understand is, one is clean data. Second, what is the data we are going to give it to AI? Third, what is the outcome we are getting? Fourth, how we are validating this data, right? So it means, I mean, when we were discussing, we are saying that is we need now we need more validators rather than the creators or the developers. So for having a governance framework, we need validators in place if we are implementing AI. And thanks a lot for everybody. I mean, we are ending this discussion now. So thanks everyone for your insights. And it was really a fruitful discussion. I also got to know a lot of things, and it's my pleasure to meet you, all the senior leaders from the industry. Yeah, thanks.